Welcome back to Lorelei and the Laser Eyes.
I am an old woman, I'm yesterday's news. I dream it black and white, see it on the laser eyes.
I'm gonna go exchange a card with the magician. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay, I'll exchange it with him. I was thinking that actually maybe it would have been smarter to go into the other heart room, I think, before doing this. But no, this is fine. This is fine. We found our third card in the spades room, so possibly we'll find the fourth card in the hearts room. But who knows? The card of wealth. The card of wealth. So there's going to be some wealth in here, eh? Use it wisely, sister. How much money do I have? I don't think I have 10 for that fourth vision thing. But maybe I do, and we'll come back once I get the ace of clubs. And I'll have $10 by then, surely. All right, second floor. I think maybe the elevator's fastest. Also, how's my bladder? Oh, it's full. We're gonna pee. We're gonna freaking lose it. I was thinking that maybe I was... Oh, darn it. I was thinking maybe I was running a little faster than normal. It's because... how the frick do I get to the basement? The stairs. Ah! Ah, sweet relief. Sweet relief. All right, much better. Ah. Luckily, there's freaking espresso right over here. That's the good stuff. Now we're fast again. And... oh, dang. How the heck do I get over there? I gotta go all the way around. Oh, no, I have a diamond key. Okay, perfect. I was thinking I'd go to the hearts one first, but diamond first. Perfect. And we got a shortcut. All right, let me just look at this stuff first. Wooden figurine. That's me, right? That's Lorelei. I say that because her hair is kind of like in the back bun kind of deal. But I don't know. And that's Renate. I think. Dollar? Nothing else here? We just can see. That's cool that we can see. And we got the effect at the peripheral of our vision where it's like just the outlines of things that kind of makes it look like a computer simulation. All right, shortcut 4, right? $51, $80, and question mark. The numbers are written behind the lines. The numbers are in jail. So yeah, 5 and then the 1 is hidden. 8 and 0. Yeah, sure. So then we just have one line at the top that has to be a 7 because the rest of it's hidden and there's no other number. So 7, and then what number has just a line in the middle? 4, right? 74. Beautiful Bella. Where is this? Oh yeah, it looks so different without the bust over there. I know where we are though. Yeah. Okay. And then, is this going to be a lock that I know? Oh, crap. It's not the third... or it's not the second magic word. It's 3 numbers. 3 numbers. Is the clue here? Could it be the chandeliers? Oh, man. The number of candles in the first floor, the number of candles in the second floor, and the number of candles in the third floor? Am I a freaking genius? Is it 886? I mean, there's also other candles in the first floor. That'd be so cool if I just nailed it. I've been wondering if we'd have to count the candelabra candles for so long. Okay, this is a good guess. But let's go and look at the notes in the typewriter. Because that first magic word equation was the girl. The second magic word is HTE, but maybe it's 213. No. I mean, I guess I could try 213. Numbers are money. What'd I say I was going to try? 213? Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay. To the hearts. To the heart room. Because this was the diamond room. No. What was the diamond room? Was this the diamond room? This was the diamond room. Yeah, for sure. All right, well, let's move on. I don't care so much. I know I'm stuck. It's fine. We got the heart key. Sorry, heart key. I wonder if I need to examine the wooden figures a little better over there. That's probably it. Some money. We only have $8. And we got a scrapbook full of newspaper and magazine clippings. The perfect place for the ace of clubs. That's a lot. Dusseldorf Post. August 25, 1953. I'm on the lookout for astronomical clocks, but I think those are birthdays. So I probably don't have to worry too much about it. Although I might get no. I was going to say the 1963 birthday, but no. Okay. Dusseldorf Post, 1953. Toys on display in museum. Interactive exhibit opens this weekend. Citizens in Dusseldorf visiting Bauschinger Kunstinstitut in hopes of seeing beautiful paintings on display will be severely disappointed. Curator Anna Catherine Braun states that the art of the future will require participation. The spectator will interact with the artwork and perhaps even co-create it. The first wave of this so-called art is an exhibition called Verschlossen Erinnerungen, spearheaded by Lorelei Weiss, a lesser-known artist from Frankfurt, who thought it necessary to litter a fine institution like Bauschinger with childish puzzle boxes that only the most fixated could possibly open. That was the puzzle box one, Verschlossen Erinnerungen. What's the one with the symbols? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I haven't seen anything like that anywhere. Anyways, fine product for country fairs, no doubt, but Fraulein Weiss's clothing and insistence upon wearing sunglasses indoors suggests that she has the hubris to think that her trinkets belong in the upper echelons of art society. Opening boxes in search of locked memories is a prime example of what is wrong with art today. No, it's fun, man. Interesting. This was 1953. Her puzzle boxes have been around for a while, right? Technique and Photographie. Report from Electronic Art Symposium. Engineers are artists in this innovative exhibition. Earlier this week, the exciting Electronic Art Symposium took place in Kirchsteiger Miss. The exhibition is open to everyone and hopes to show the exciting happenings in the world of electronic devices and how they can be used for more than work and calculations. Among the selected artists was Lorelei Weiss, known for her puzzle boxes, and recently her innovative use of computers. Innovative. Her contribution caused quite a sensation as its deliberate malfunction caused some panic. Weiss is not too keen to talk about what the work of art meant. She does not want to end discussions by giving a correct answer. Veteran art critic Morris Talbot insisted it was a comment on the unreliability of technology, but concept artist Aiki Tanaka thought that Weiss wanted to show us the death of an artwork. Electronic Art Symposium. Did we see that one? Was that Renzo? The 9 squares with the Renzo thing that opened the puzzle boxes? How did I hear Electronic Art Symposium? Un animal terrible review. There can be little doubt that Renzo Nero is not a filmmaker for everyone's taste. This is the film that doomed his career, right? That made everyone think he was awful. His critics find him crude, yet pretentious. His latest film won't win them over, but I don't think Nero cares. Un animal terrible is in many ways an experiment in audience participation. A number of scenes present the audience with tough choices about what should happen next. Regardless of the audience choices in Un animal terrible, the film always ends with Lucia coming back to life. This interactive film thus makes fun of its own concept of interactivity. Nero says that this is a comment on the illusion of democracy, but it works just as well as a joke about the illusion of interactivity. We like to think that we affect outcomes, but in truth, most of us are mere spectators, superfluous, tired eyes. It's the participation that in the end makes Un animal terrible such an intense viewing. This should be essential viewing for anyone remotely interested in the development of narrative media, but be warned, it is not a pleasant film by any means. Lucia comes back to life, huh? That was 1962. Journal du Sud. Renzo Nero wins big in Monte Carlo. Ah, yeah, he won a jackpot, right? He'll spend the money on a new film project. The director caused some mirth when he arrived in Club Rouge with a grocery bag stuffed with American dollar bills and stated that he was there to clean house. According to witnesses, Renzo Nero was in good spirits and joked with both staff and other patrons. Despite the rumors about Renzo Nero when it comes to romance, our reporter, Mrs. Melissa Dubois, caught Renzo Nero in the company of starlet Carla Romano. Sorry, I'm having trouble speaking after so much speaking. The company of starlet Carla Romano and socialite Felicia Levy, both drinking champagne, but the big winner celebrated with a double espresso. Were you not afraid to lose such an amount? No, first of all, it was not my money. Secondly, I'd seen in the stars that I would win. There was no reason to worry. Risky business, gambling with a production budget. If you lost, there would be no movie. There would be no movie, but it's better to have no movie than a bad movie. I needed more money than the studio gave me. Do you think you have set an example for other filmmakers? No, it was a terrible idea that turned out very well. Casinos are crooks. I got lucky. I would recommend filmmakers to rob banks instead, because gambling is immoral. And robbing banks is not. He's a bit of an anarchist. Good luck with your next picture, Mr. Nero. Oh, thank you, Bella Melissa. It will be the one. We're restarting cinema from the beginning to the time when celluloid was magic, not for passing the time between hamburgers. A playing card. Nailed it. Das Nordost Journal. Death at Hotel Letz's Yar. Police are coy about details. The police are investigating a death that occurred at Hotel Letz's Yar yesterday evening. Wait. What? June 1st? That doesn't add up. Oh my gosh, it's freaking... Sorry. January 6th. Yeah. I know how my dates are supposed to be. Alright, the hotel has been closed for the season, but according to neighbors, there had been a film shoot in the weeks past. The police won't confirm that there is any correlation between the film production and the death. Kommissar Schmidt, who is in charge of the investigation, refuses to release any further information. The investigation is in a delicate phase at the moment, and therefore the deceased identity will not be released at this time. We cannot rule out the possibility of a crime, and as such, it is standard procedure to treat it like a murder investigation, the police commented earlier this morning. I'm just going to read that again because, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was lost in thought about something else. The film shooting in the weeks past, that's new information, right? Huh. Other than that, I think we're fine. And this was a long time after that, 1982. Report from the inside, the Third Eye Movement, cult or commune. Our reporter secretly joined the pilgrimage. I was confused when I received an invitation to an eye-to-eye session from the Third Eye Movement. After some research, mostly consisting of buying fellow writers a drink, my confusion turned to excitement. The Third Eye Movement is apparently a gathering of painters, musicians, composers, directors, photographers, and writers. And so I thought it was in my capacity as a Mendig Awarded journalist that I was invited. Jose Marie Gill, the European branch's Magnus Magister artist, maintained that it was due to a little red collection of poetry I released back in the 60s. Jose Marie made it clear that it would not occur to him to let journalists into their midst, as journalism is a reactive craft and not a creative one. You see, the Third Eye Movement is solely for those filled with the power of creation, something I would hear more about in the weeks to come. What I thought was a secret club for the avant-garde bohemians was something entirely different. It was like being offered a seat at King Arthur's round table. I suddenly found myself part of a quest, not for the Grail, but for something else. A metaphysical power, an entity, a treasure of sorts. We saw all three of those expressed in the Owl Girl's story in the Teatro Rosso or whatever. Interesting. No one knew or wanted to tell me, but it was clear that it had, perhaps thousands of years ago, appeared somewhere in Sulawesi. That was Lorenzo's crystal ball cave thing. The members whispered of it as a zeitgeist, and they now believed it was to be found in Central Europe. I mean, I assume this is all just superstitious nonsense, but I don't know. Maybe it's real in this game. 2014. This is when Lorelei dies, right? But then 8 years later, we're going to have something. So interesting. Where are they now, Lorelei Weiss? Our search for the elusive computer image innovator who never entered the spotlight. Unearthing obscure artists is the archaeology of the 21st century. Whether it's a long-dead naivist painter from Sweden, a minimalist composer from Latvia, or a mediocre Edwardian horror writer, they are all dug up and put on display. Obscurity adds value to a body of work, and by digging them up, we deprive them of that value. But the thing about Lorelei Weiss's most interesting art is that it can't be sold, because no one really knows if it exists anymore. Gallery owner Gaston Rousseau pours us a coffee in his apartment in Paris. Last year, he started to research the possibility of doing an exhibition which would act both as a tribute and a retrospective of the eclectic artist. He had hoped to recreate her lost art with the help of Weiss herself, and today's most admired names in computer art. She was the Gauguin of the electronic era, Rousseau tells Artfilter. If all of Gauguin's work had been burned, that is. Weiss was an elusive figure even when she was in Zenith, but after the Nero affair, for which she sadly is most remembered, few have met her. Through Rousseau's network in the art world, he managed to track her down in Hamburg and swiftly travel to arrange a meeting with her. She was cleared. Why is she most remembered for the Nero affair? What happened? I was too late. I had such big plans. Maybe I was a fool to believe that I could create a renaissance for a long-forgotten electronic art pioneer. Rousseau sighs. The old woman I met could hardly see, let alone speak. It didn't look like she had much time left. Indeed, the old woman is Lorelei. I think that's confirmation that maybe we had never gotten before. Oh no, because speaking Lorelei's art pieces and I think her aunt's name, something like that, that also triggered things. So, okay, we did get confirmation that the old woman was Lorelei. All right. This is 2022, huh? How on earth is this in this game, though? It's because the player is from 2024 when the game was created, and we are playing as Lorelei, who died in 2014, but we can still see stuff. But this doesn't fit with the story of Lorelei remembering stuff right before she died. I don't know. I'm confused. Maybe she's been in the bed unable to remember things for way after 2014. The grave in the graveyard said she died in 2014, but maybe that was the death of her sanity, consciousness, something like that. Anyways, internet mystery of the OCU3. Truth or fake? We dive deeper into the modern myth of the 1960s supercomputer. We've all heard the story by now. In Oggenwaldberg, where entrepreneurs Mick Odo and Rob Geib are building a Euro funland, complete with golf courses, spas, and restaurants, a construction worker came upon a computer believed to be from the 1960s, the OCU3. First found in what was the basement of the old mansion which previously stood on the grounds, it was later sold at a flea market, and eventually ended up in the hands of an anonymous individual known as Pooty on several forums. Or Pooty, then, claims to have managed to reconstruct parts of the data on the OCU3. That seems like an important name, right? We've all seen the results on the internet. We've all been astonished by it. We've all asked ourselves the same questions. Was this type of technology available in the 1960s? Could an entire interactive retrospective be made or even fit on the primitive devices of that time? In the coming weeks, we'll try to answer these questions and dive deeper into the mystery of the OCU3. I wonder if that's the game that King Adam is playing. Is that the retrospective that is on the OCU3 in the game? It's very meta. Whew. Okay. I'm going to run right back here to the Ace of Diamonds and see if there's more on this wooden figurine. It's scratched on the bottom. 2014 is Lorelei. Oh. 1847 is Renate, huh? But it's minus 1847. The other one didn't have a minus. Oh, subtraction, baby. Subtraction. What's the difference between 2014 and 1847? $163. Wait, hold on. 167. What is it? Yes, first try. Let's go. Up top, we got $1. Is this our 9th dollar? Oh, we're so close. I need one more before I have to go back with the card. And we're going to find it. There's $1 in there. Yes. We've got it. And we can still run. This game's awesome. Out the door. Went too far. Climb down the ladder. Grab the $1. But I feel like this didn't really do anything. Doesn't this just take us to the elevator? Oh, not quite. There is a prison down here, isn't there? Well, hello there. I found you, didn't I? You've kept me locked up for 51 years. 51 plus 63 is 2014, baby. Signorina, let me go. Do I want to do that? A photo's taped to the door. I don't want to do that. Do I have a key that I think would work? Well, okay, let me check. What key? Oh, the revolver key probably, right? I don't want to let him go, though. All right, and what shortcut was this? 15. Wait, didn't I already do 15? I think I just looked at it when I was frustrated with 16. No, I definitely haven't looked at this at all. Oh, brother. I don't really know what's happening here. Is it some sort of magic square where the numbers to the left and the numbers up and down and everything are all the same? No. If I look at it upside down, all the numbers wrote, 9, 0, 1, 8, and 6. They all flip to give numbers that look like other numbers. I don't really see how that's helpful. So one thought is that the question at the bottom might be a important clue in how to figure out what they are. Because I say that because some combinations of square numbers plugged into square and diamond would result in a negative number. So let me just sketch out what this would look like if we subtracted. Sorry. How do I do addition and subtraction if I don't know if the numbers are going to overflow? You know what I mean? So at the end we have a diamond minus square plus square. So the last digit must be diamond. Okay, yeah, and then the second digit is the same thing. It's just a square and then a diamond. But that doesn't really help, does it? It's not possible that every row sums to the same number. Certainly not possible that every column sums to the same number. It's not possible that every column corresponds to every row? Correct. The top, right, the top row, if that had 2 zeros in it to correspond with the second column, then diamond and squares are zeros, and so that's just garbage. Should I just plug in random numbers and see if a pattern becomes apparent? Maybe that's what I do. What would be a good guess? 5 and 2, 4, because there's 4 vertices. Maybe it's maybe it says 44. Should I try 44? Ooh, maybe it's the first two numbers sum to the sum of the second two numbers. 8 plus 1 equals 9 plus 0 would be the bottom one. But that doesn't work because then the diamond is 0 and none of the other ones work. Does it have to do with the shape of the diamond and the square? Like which numbers would fit inside a diamond? Like it can't have lines on the top or bottom? It'd have to be a 1. I don't know. That second column is really throwing me for a loop. How could it be 0001? Makes me think it must have to do with just the rows. But they can't all sum to the same number. Well, I've flipped it upside down. I've looked at it from every angle. I feel like I'm just stuck. We're going to guess that each shape represents the number of vertices there are. So 4 and 4, which would make the answer 44. And that's not going to work. And then I'm going to give up on this puzzle until a bolt of inspiration hits me. Hopefully sometime soon. And, brother, last thing I do need to do, I have script pages. The third eye, yeah? Should I read them all? Oh, man. Oh, man. I'm going to read this now. Should I talk about it? Yeah. I'll read it all, and then I'll share some thoughts at the very end. So if you don't want to hear me read every single script page, skip to the end, and I will give you my thoughts. I don't know. Interior theater. Day. Smoke lies thick in the small, tawdry theater. On the hardwood stage, a magician performs. His coat is worn and mended, but once it was expensive. Lorenzo the Great. But alas, the young Mademoiselle Henrietta Dubois could not escape her sordid fate. He yanks the handle to his erythrotrope, and a silhouette of a man stabbing a woman appears on the wall. The crowd stares dumbly at the shadow, and they smile with yellow teeth made for biting. Lorenzo looks at the audience with disgust. He takes out another wheel labeled the third eye for brotherhood use only. He hesitates, but puts the wheel in its contraption. The next story is not meant for the likes of you. It's something I normally only show refined ladies and gentlemen, but I'll make an exception tonight. Those tired, ugly eyes of yours shall see something new. Lorenzo yanks the handle. Thousands of years ago, the third eye shone over the islands in the far east, but one night it fell from the sky. A comet passes on the wall. Strangely enough, it quiets down the crowd. They follow the comet while gaping and see it crash to the ground. A human found it, and when she held it, she saw the magic of this world. She had a vision, so she painted a creature in red ochre on a cave wall. Cave paintings show up all over the wall. The crowd is a bit confused by the effect. At night, the crimson beast awoke. It spread chaos and death and devoured the human and her people. A red monster appeared. The crowd screams in terror as it attacks them. Some of them have had enough and flee the theater. Lorenzo slows down and the beast disappears. The story of the red creature became a legend, but the third eye lived on and appears in the most unlikely of places to this day. That is all for tonight. You have been a wonderful audience. Go away. The crowd mutters and leaves. One man, better dressed and cleaner than the rest, remains in his seat. He studies Lorenzo with cold eyes. Brother Tertius. When Lorenzo discovers his presence, his pupils dilate from fear. Interior Brotherhood Lodge, night. The room is dark, besides the many lit brass candelabras. Lorenzo stands with his hat in hand. 50 men in robes watch him from a long table. At the end of the table, a stern old man ponderously strokes his sideburns. Brother Septimus. A young brother opens a mahogany case and takes out an ornate revolver and a minotaur mask. He looks over at Brother Septimus, who nods to him. The young brother puts on the mask and aims the gun at Lorenzo's head. Play safe and never pass. Gamble to pass or perish. Truth above all. Risk my life, brother. How many were our first ancient brothers? 7. Correct. The seated brothers raise their goblets and drink. What is the punishment for sharing our secrets with outsiders? Lorenzo grabs hold of the table and is about to faint. Death. Correct. Lorenzo closes his eyes, but death does not come. Under normal circumstances, you would be dead now. I'm sorry, elder brother. I was not thinking. Weariness and perhaps a crisis of faith. Forgive me, brothers. Thankfully for you, these are not normal circumstances, Brother Septimus says. The time is nigh, little brother, and like in the old, we shall send 7 brothers in search of that which was lost. All brothers hold up 7 fingers. 6 have already gone searching for omens. You will be the 7th, the disgraced one. Where will you send me, elder brother? Oggen Waldberg. There lives an artist in an old manor. The prophecy mentions her. Go and see, brother, if that which was lost is there. Lorenzo nods. Brother Septimus continues. The lady suffers from an eye condition that will ultimately render blindness. A sad fate for a painter. Take these vermilion tears. What do they do, elder brother? Nothing at all, but you will use them pretending to cure the lady. That is your guise while you search her house for the third eye. Page 12. Exterior, Oggen Waldberg Manor, dusk. Hooves clop echoes through the dilapidated courtyard. Algae-covered statues silently await the arrival. A pale, sickly horse comes into view, pulling a wagon painted red in a distant past. Lorenzo walks beside the horse and leads it by its reins. Lorenzo ties the horse to an old oak. Be brave, Moors, you have nothing to fear. Lorenzo carefully approaches the front gate. He bangs the knocker. Lorenzo scans the dirty windows for any sign of life. Finally, the door creaks open. And instantly, Lorenzo raises his top hat and takes a bow. A white rose appears in his hand from his hat. The miracle has arrived. An ashen woman in an expensive dress stares through him with milky eyes. Renate Schwarzwald. I do not believe in miracles. That is why you need the one, Baronin. Lorenzo hands the white rose to Renate. It changes color to red. You might as well perform for the shadows. My sight is fading away. Your eyes are fading because there has been nothing to see. Weary eyes need entertainment, and tired souls need miracles. Who are you? Lorenzo the Great, at your service, Baronin. A magus whose name is whispered from the shores of Zanzibar to the frosty peaks of Helsinki, known to beggars and kings alike. Well, you are not known to me. Good evening. Renate is about to shut the gate. Wait! Renate waits. My journey has been a long one. My horse is tired, and to be honest, so am I. Renate looks at the very sickly-looking horse. I had 4 once, during better times, but ironically Morza is the only one who lives. Very well. Interior, Oggen Waldberg Manor, dining room day. This is the 18th page. An oversized dead goose lies on the oaken dining table. Lorenzo devours his portion in a loud manner. Renate tries to hide her disgust. Is the room satisfactory? Yes, I slept like a piglet. So it was not you I heard last night? Lorenzo drinks wine and coughs to buy some time. I was up briefly, yes. He takes out a small vial from his sleeve. My vermilion tears. They need moonlight not to lose their magic. I took the liberty to use one of the windows in your studio. Renate looks amused. I took another liberty and studied some of your work. The portraits are, of course, excellent, but I am most intrigued by the drawings of signs? Ah, my Himmelskorper suite. What inspired them? Renee ignores the question. Magician, might I ask you a strange question? Who am I to refuse an answer? Did you see a labyrinth while you were in the park? A labyrinth? A red labyrinth. The only labyrinth I saw was the portrait of the man with a labyrinth instead of a face. Renee stands up angrily. I've made no such portrait. Your lies have ceased to amuse me. I know why you are here, and I know where to look for it, but I will hold you to your word. Lorenzo looks like he is about to assure Renee of his pure intentions. Cure my eyes. On to page 25. Interior Augenwaldberg Manor, Renate's bedroom, day. The curtains have been drawn. Renate lies on top of the bed, a trace of a smirk on her lips. Lorenzo looks gravely serious on the side of the bed. Are you ready for your miracle, Baronin? Yes. Lorenzo spills a single drop of vermilion tears into Renate's left eye. She blinks. And Lorenzo drops another tear into the right eye. It might be a few days before it takes effect. Renate's eyes start to boil, and she screams in unfiltered agony. Lorenzo backs away in horror. Lorenzo holds his hands over his ears to protect himself from her looping, deafening screams. Everything turns black. It's just eye drops, it's just eye drops, it's just eye drops. Then, quiet. Lorenzo stirs to life on the floor. He sees Renate lying lifeless on the bed. Lorenzo checks her pulse in a hurry. She is still alive. Apparently, he has, at some point, put a bandage around her head. 2 red dots mark the eyes, giving Renate a disturbing appearance. Baronin, can you hear me? I can hear you, magician. They tell me you are not invited. Invited where? To the cavern. I followed the echoes of my screams. They were waiting for me. Who was awaiting for you? Our ancient sisters and brothers in the Far East. They're sharing the secret with me, but they won't share it with you. The cavemen think you are an obsequious ignoramus who balters through existence. But Ronan, you must rest now. The labyrinth, they drew it on the wall. Go and see by the window. They say I should defenestrate you, but we have an agreement. Lorenzo slowly trudges against the window. Moonlight shines on his weather-bitten face. He looks out the window. A giant garden labyrinth has appeared in the park. Do you see it, magician? Yes. Do you see me? In the labyrinth. Lorenzo squints. It's very dark. Yes, I see you. Do you see you? What do you mean? Can you see yourself in the labyrinth? Of course not. I'm not there. Neither am I. Lorenzo turns around and bumps into Renate. The red dots on the bandage have grown substantially, looking like giant red bug eyes. She puts her hand on Lorenzo's face. The room turns red. Interior garden labyrinth night. Lorenzo gasps in disorientation. He is now somewhere in the labyrinth. Lorenzo quivers from fear. Renate smiles at him. Her bandage is gone, and a pair of lovely hazel eyes look at Lorenzo with affection. This is the place from my childhood. I am over there. Renate points behind Lorenzo. He turns his head to look. A girl wearing an owl mask watches him from behind. Owl girl. She runs and disappears behind a corner. Renate takes Lorenzo's hand. Renate, come! Together they run in the labyrinth. Renate seems to know her way, while Lorenzo is trying to make sense of the strange space. A red hue suddenly appears on their faces. It's the most beautiful thing they have ever seen. They smile, with tears running down their cheeks. The light grows stronger, and the cosmos plays music just for them. Page 49, Interior Augenwaldberg Manor, Library Day. Renate's hand moves frantically across a canvas. Lorenzo sits in an armchair by the window with his top hat on his knee, posing for a portrait. There is movement inside his top hat. I think it might have been a maze, not a labyrinth. Aren't they interchangeable? A labyrinth prolongs the path, while a maze is for getting lost, and we are lost. It's a big house. It can sometimes be disorienting. We have seen it. I think the price of admission might be an eye and a leg. Lorenzo leans forward, and his hat falls on the floor. A red owl flutters out of the hat in front of Lorenzo. He stares at it in surprise. That was a very clever trick. The owl perches on the top of a bookshelf. Lorenzo half chants as if reading. And when the third eye blinked, the red beast lay an egg within. The third eye closed, and their bastard offspring was born thousands of years later. Renate studies her canvas and is a bit confused. A realistic portrait of a man in a dark suit, but where his head is supposed to be, there's a red glowing maze. Renate notices 2 tickets in his hand. She takes them and stares at them. Teatro Rosso. Interior theater, night. An excited, faceless valet points at a red curtain. Lorenzo and Renee look at each other and then step through it. Rows and rows of seats. It's much too large to be inside the manor. Lorenzo stares in disbelief at the giant theater. It seems empty, but the murmuring from the crowd is deafening. Gaslight illuminates the stage. Someone clears his throat behind them, and a featureless usher points toward the first rows. Renate and Lorenzo silently descend the stairs toward their seats. A fanfare, the lights dim. A man dressed as Lorenzo and wearing a Lorenzo mask rides a prop horse onto the stage. What is this? Lorenzo knocks on a door mid-stage, and an actress wearing a mask resembling Renate opens the door. Applause. The light intensifies on stage and blinds Lorenzo and Renate. On the stage, a comet hanging from wires passes. Renate and Lorenzo avert their eyes. Then the comet is gone. The stage is empty. A lone, hesitant clap from somewhere further back. The actress playing Renate walks on stage. She holds her hands in front of her, blood flowing from her eyes. Please hold me. The actor playing Lorenzo steps on stage purposefully. Lorenzo and Renate watch their theater alter egos on stage in grim silence. Their hands join. Lorenzo drags a stylized prop window onto the stage. Renate wanders, sobbing blood. Lorenzo tries to place the window in front of Renate, making her fall out. The crowd howls with laughter as Lorenzo gets more frustrated every time Renate misses the window. Please hold me, please hold me. Finally, Lorenzo has enough. He grabs Renate and shoves her with full force through the glass window and from the stage. Renate lands with a thud and crack. Theater blood squirts onto Lorenzo's face. Lorenzo forms a fist and rises. Enough! Lorenzo watches him silently. The whole theater boo. Let's go. But Renate is gone from her seat. In fact, she is nowhere to be found. Lorenzo looks around in panic, but it's like she's vanished into thin air. The actress playing Renate comes back to life and is elevated by strings into the air. She bows and receives applause. The actress turns her head to Lorenzo and she takes off the Renate mask. Beneath it is a featureless face. To be gifted is to be infested. Ideas are tiny red eggs in your brain. To the microscope, they still look the same, the good and the bad. Oh, but look at the time. Lorenzo slowly walks off stage, his footsteps echoing through the empty theater. He moves toward Lorenzo. Lorenzo turns to run, but his doppelganger catches up with him. The doppelganger removes the mask, and behind it, Maze Man, his head buzzing in an electrical manner. She is waiting for you. Here is an idea. Follow my daughter. The Maze Man puts his hand, over Lorenzo's eyes. Page 85. Interior Augen-Waldberg Manor. Corridor. Day. A disoriented Lorenzo finds himself in the hotel corridor. A phone rings somewhere. Further down the hall he sees the Owl Girl. Lorenzo to the Owl Girl. Where is she? The girl flaps her arms and hoots. Enough games. The Owl Girl disappears down a corner. Lorenzo stomps after. The Owl Girl waits for him at the end of the next corridor. Suddenly, a black Labrador runs up to him and barks. Lorenzo looks at the dog with surprise. His tag reads Rudy. Rudy lies down and plays dead on the rug. As he does, Rudy changes from black to white. Finally, the dog cramps and then contorts into a cat. A payphone rings on the wall. Lorenzo lifts the receiver. Telephone voice. Why are you answering the phone? Lorenzo remains silent. There are no phones in 1847, you cretino. Lorenzo grunts. Hang up the phone and go chase the Owl Girl, just like the script says. Lorenzo hangs up. He sees the Owl Girl with a limp cat in her hand. Lorenzo runs after her, corridor after corridor. Lorenzo runs fast with a determination, but the Owl Girl is always around yet another corner. He never catches up with her. Lorenzo turns a corner. There is no Owl Girl, but a mirror. Lorenzo sees himself briefly, and behind him stands a man in sunglasses and a dark suit. Lorenzo regards the man in the mirror, but the mirror changes, and Renate appears levitating like a ghost. Stylish sunglasses obscure her eyes. Renate with a man's voice. "I am waiting for you upstairs. I looked serious, so you might want to go check." Renate finishes from the mirror. Lorenzo is left with the image of himself. He looks weary. He turns and goes. His footsteps echo through the empty manor. Interior Oggenwaldberg Manor, staircase, second floor corridor, night. At the end of the dark hallway, Lorenzo sees a dark shape. Lorenzo very slowly approaches it. It's Renate with her back turned against him. Lorenzo stops. A long silence. Renate in a man's voice. "You keep sending the wrong goose to the butcher." "Baronin." "Baronin? I think the Baronin would perhaps hear talk about her ascension. She can say something to the effect of..." Renate clears her throat. "I have good news for you. We are not artists. We are not even art. When it comes down to it, we are all just paint. Aren't you happy with this news, magician?" Renate switches voices again. "And he would say..." Lorenzo keeps his silence in defiance. Renate says in a man's voice, "Why is this so hard for you? Why do you think of these things? This is unimportant. There are symbolic values in mirror images, yes, but none of this matters, Signorina. Had you read my manifesto, you would have known it was never meant for viewing." Lorenzo looks confused for a moment. "Please, Baronin, let's leave this place. Every maze has a solution." Renate sighs heavily. "You really understand nothing at all. But if you understood, you never would have played your part. Time for entertainment. Here is her last performance." Renate turns slowly around. Her face is hidden by shadows. Lorenzo takes a step forward. Her eyes are empty craters. Red paint runs down her cheeks. Renate in her own voice. "Hold me, please, hold me." Lorenzo backs away. "Please hold me, please hold me." Lorenzo backs further, Renate's arms flailing, searching for him like tentacles, paint dripping everywhere she goes. "Please hold me." Lorenzo's eyes widen with fear as she comes closer. Her touch disgusts him. Suddenly, Renate increases her pace and she touches his face. "Please hold me." Lorenzo instinctively pushes Renate with full force. Smiling, she falls toward the large window. The Baronin crashes through it and down to the ground below. Lorenzo stares at the window in shock. He steps toward the window. Rain patters against his face. On the gravel path below lies a mangled corpse. Wow. So the third eye is the story of Lorenzo and Renate, and it tracks the exact same story as Renzo Nero killing a woman in 1963 while Lorelei was in the house. So that wasn't Renate, maybe. It was a nameless woman. Or maybe it was Renate, and the third eye script is Renzo Nero kind of just using what happened in real life for his script. Man, there was a lot here. At first, I thought maybe that we were going to have to know, like, in the first page, Brother Tertius was important. In the second page, Brother Septimus was important. But that quickly ended. There are no more brothers with numbers in Latin after the first two pages. We got a reference to the 4 horses, including Mors, who is Lorenzo's final living horse. We got Himmelskorper Suite. What was Himmelskorper Suite about? That was Renate's thing. Himmel. Yeah, Himmelskorper. Renate Schwarzwald. Oh, and this was the mystic symbols. This was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Cool. Okay, so that was Himmelskorper. And what did... That was just her art. Okay. Wow. Okay. Cool. What are these signs? Oh, yeah, these are the puzzle boxes. And the Verschlossen Erunrungen, that's the puzzle boxes. And Gnome was the Renzo art exhibit. Wow, okay. Not sure exactly what to think of the third man's script. It seems like some excellent lore. Ooh, something that I did realize then is that the father figures in this game are critical. Page 57, I took a note that Maze Man is Renate's father. Maze Man says, "Follow my daughter." Something about the labyrinth, I'm going to guess, has to do with repressed memories, right? The labyrinth represents, the maze represents a brain, and how you can get lost and you can't find your memories. Okay, so it's dark. Sorry for that. But theory is that Renate's father did something to her that she's repressing. Lorelei. Oh my gosh, shut up, Siri. That's so weird. She never thinks I talk to her. Okay, sorry. Lorelei has repressed, I think, what happened in 1963. She was never the same after the Nero incident, whatever that is. Anyways, that's the episode. I've been recording for a long time, but I think I've edited down a lot of dead space, especially with talking about this shortcut 15, and probably I compressed a little bit of the reading. And what a fun time in Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. Next time, we'll free the man from prison, I think, with a revolver key, or I'll try, I don't know. We'll see what's going on there. And I got more cards to exchange for keys, and we'll unlock the fourth room, the club key. Till next time, y'all take care.